on this week's plenary session, I want to bring in Zoon Ahmed Khan via Skype from Beijing. Zoon is a research fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. Zoon, very good to have you back on the show. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start by asking simply, what should we be looking out from this year's session?
Okay, so firstly, I think I would like to, for international audiences, give a bit of a context.
Sure.
We are in this year, 2021, celebrating the 100th anniversary of the foundation of the CPC. And generally, the sixth plenum focuses on ideology, how to move forward. It's basically giving a sense to the ideas that can unite the nation forward and move forward in a way that can bring synergy. So the sixth plenum this time is very significant because now the party and the people of China are celebrating 100 years of the CPC serving people. And of course, that means now they're studying the history in a different way. We've seen many museums and facilities open up basically all over the country to help people understand the historical experience. And the focus really is that with major achievements, despite the pandemic, for instance, absolute poverty was eliminated. The goal now is to further move forward the ideas of Kang, basically allowing people to have a better quality of life are at the forefront. And moving forward, the goal of 2049 is very important, which is to convert China to really lead towards a modern socialist society, a country where people have a higher quality of living, and we see more synergy between the party, the military, the people, and basically a country that is moving towards further prosperity. So what I see, for instance, is that there's a constant focus on inspiring people to continue and motivating them towards that common goal. So this is a basic context of the meeting.
You know, I think you were exactly right to give an international context of what goes on. But, you know, in the story leading up to you, we saw China's space flight, bullet trains, modernization, yes. You know, all this effort to lift people out of this abject poverty. Amazing job, 800 million people over the past 40 years. But the meetings are held behind yes. closed doors. Give us an idea of the give and take that goes on among the most powerful people in China. Is there real debate going on?
Well, you know, from what I understand is that in the previous two resolutions, there were basic conflicts that needed to be resolved. So when we talk about Chairman Mao's, in 1945, the first resolution, the idea was how to unite the party into pushing it towards the ideology that was required to form a government, form the PRC. Mm-hmm. And then in 1981, there was some conflict about how to move towards an era of reform and opening up, which will make the country rich. And there was some conflict within the party whether or not what is the right way forward. There were some experiences that led to differences within the party. Currently, right now, there's no difference. There is a basic understanding that, yes, we have had a history through the years, mm-hmm. through the 100 years. The CPC has gradually moved towards the basic goal. They have prioritized successfully that basic goal of serving people and improving lives of people. Previously marginalized communities, even different ethnic groups, today find themselves in a position of improvement. So there are no major resolution, no major differences that need to be resolved. But then the real question is, how do we continue to move forward? What is the best path? And what I observe here in Beijing, especially as a foreigner, I see that there is immense focus on inspiring people. Let's also try to understand that today there is a generation of young Chinese people that haven't seen the poverty and may not have an understanding of everything it took to be where they are. China, in many aspects, is a very prosperous and rich society. So how to continue that goal, how to keep inspiring and motivating people. And another important aspect is how to engage the global community in a more effective way. So the real focus of this is how to continue opening up, mm-hmm. how to continue contributing to major goals of globalization, how to promote multilateralism, how to inspire, and also I study the Belt and Road Initiative. So how do we make sense of the domestic goals, continuing to improve people's lives, and also contribute to international goals.
Exactly, and with this
Promoting
growing
multi-
middle class that China has, it seems that trade and climate
yes.
change are going to be very important moving forward.
Very important goals. And this is also, so for instance, if you travel through China, you see that a lot of focus is being placed on sustainability. New cities, new villages are converting into cities and really focusing on sustainable ways forward, addressing people's evolving needs. Now the focus is more on how do we create a happy and prosperous society? How do we attract talent to work better, to be more creative by giving them what they need, basic improved living conditions. So what is that direction that the whole country is going to take? Another thing to understand is that a lot of people see China as this big, well-oiled machine, but it's really a story of 1.5 billion people working hard, moving forward, continuing to be creative and innovative. So when you go into small villages, many provinces, each government, the CPC's basically leadership is trying to find creative ways to continue improvement. And this is what the party is going to think about. What is that overall direction that the country should be taking? And especially at a time when we're talking about climate change, poverty alleviation globally, it affects, all countries are affected by the global inequalities, and also sustainable ways forward. So how do we continue growing? How do we improve lives without harming the future? So the three main ideas that are being circulated, that are being talked about, is historical experience, appreciating it and understanding from it. Then secondly, understanding the present and improving the future, basically making sure that our present context is well understood so that we can move towards a better, prosperous future. And thirdly, keeping the goals, keeping the improvement people-centric, satisfying the needs and the growing aspirations of people. And this is what really is the basis of the CPC's way forward. So it is going to be a challenge given global polarization. All of these aspects are posing a challenge, but the point is to really have unity at this critical moment.
Zoon, thank you so much. Zoon Ahmed Khan. She is a research fellow at the Central for China and Globalization. Thanks so much for your insight. We appreciate it.